Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Podcast, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's take a look at stocks on the move. We're joined by Bloomberg radio and TV markets correspondent Kriti Gupta. Kriti, there's so many ways to go. I mean, from tech to retail. Where do you want to start?
Let's start with the tech story, Lisa. I mean, it feels like Dell Technologies is maybe getting its moment in the sun after NVIDIA earnings earlier this week. Those shares higher by about 1%, seeing a lot of heavy volume to the upside. DELL is your ticker. Shares higher by about 1%, trading at $114 a share. Now, just a reminder for everyone, they did have a profit outlook for the entire year that beat those analyst expectations. They also use that magic phrase, artificial intelligence, seeing a significant increase in orders for those servers to run AI networks. So all of that giving a boost to those shares this morning. Lisa, let's talk a little bit about some of the other sectors we've got our eye on, which of course is the retail sector. And I think this is a really exciting one because Gap shares are moving quite a bit this morning. GPS is your ticker. The news here is simply that they are actually sinking on the tariff warning. We talked about this a lot in terms of the smaller brands perhaps not being able to kind of navigate this as much as the larger ones can in terms of the liquidity story or in terms of how they're being able to hit the kind of slowdown in consumer spending if one comes. But Gap shares really taking a beating this morning. GAP is your ticker, down about 16% in the pre-market, trading at $23.40. They're talking about a tariff impact of, get this, $300 million. And they're saying that that is going to persist in some of their smaller brands as well, Banana Republic and Athleta as well. A completely different story, Lisa, in the makeup side of things. This is where girls are coming to the rescue. Ulta shares, ULTA, higher by 8% this morning, trading at $455 share. They're doing the opposite of Gap. They're actually increasing their profit forecast. They're saying despite those consumers pulling back, they're not going to pull back on makeup, which is really interesting. Makeup tends to be the first, one of those first kind of disposable goods in a lot of people's repertoire. And you actually heard the opposite from L'Oreal here in Europe. They said that that's actually going to hit their bottom line. Ulta Beauty perhaps defying gravity on that front. A lot of the analysts saying that there's a history of strong execution at the company, especially in times of a pullback. So some real faith here coming from the analyst community. And I think that is a double tailwind for Ulta shares this morning. ULTA higher by about 8%, trading at $455 a share. Lisa, we got to talk about Costco. I had a giant conversation this morning with my co-anchor Guy Johnson about Costco and buying in bulk. And Europeans don't really do that. They don't like to buy.
Do that, Kriti.
I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I miss the 24 paper towel rolls all at once. The problem is, where do you store it? And that's a New York City problem, but it's worse here in Europe. So it isn't as popular, but nevertheless, Costco was interesting. COST is the ticker, trading at about $1,017 a share, higher by 0.4%. Look, they're worried about the tariff story, but they're saying they've had so much advanced orders, it actually helps them navigate some of that price sensitivity. So they don't have to pass it on to consumers simply because they are kind of hoarding that inventory. Again, a completely different message from a different retailer, Walmart, that we had heard in terms of being able to navigate the tariff insecurities there. So COST is your ticker for Costco this morning.
The Stock Movers Podcast from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.